Hey fellas, how you doing? It's Johnny Berba. In this video I wanted to talk about turning negatives into positives, and I also wanted to speak about desperation. So I guess desperation would be associated with negativity. Now you probably heard the term, it's not good to be desperate, or desperation is unattractive, especially with regards to meeting women. Men, obviously dating advice will always say you shouldn't be desperate around women, you shouldn't be needy, it's unattractive. I definitely agree with that, there's a lot of truth in that. But sometimes I think concepts, ideas, people's ways of doing things, sometimes it isn't right for you. Because in my experience in my life, and I want to share this with you guys to help you, because I know you guys are going to appreciate this information. In my experience in my own life, desperation has always been a great friend to me. I don't fucking enjoy it. I don't enjoy ever feeling desperate, because of course it isn't nice to feel needy, it isn't nice to feel out of control, it isn't nice to feel weak, and it isn't nice to feel maybe depressed or negative or frustrated or just overtired or confused, not knowing what you want to do with your life. But whenever I felt like that, that's always what's pushed me to take action and to get myself out of feeling desperate and achieving whatever I wanted to achieve, or just changing my emotional state, just having the mental strength to say, no, I'm not going to feel like this, I'm not going to allow my negative thoughts to bring me into this place and to keep me here, and then create a story that's telling me I'm this or I'm that, or the world is like this. I'm going to pull myself out. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of stories in my life, times where I was really fucking desperate, I was really in trouble, and how I was able to dig myself out. Now, before I tell the story, I'm going to share a quick saying with you. It might be from the Bible, I've heard it passed around many times. I actually said it myself to a student, I can't remember which day it was, and I love it. And it says, when I'm at my strongest, I'm at my weakest. And when I'm at my weakest, I'm at my strongest. Now, if that confuses you, I know what that means. I think I know what it means anyway, in my own way. And I love that saying, and I use that as a personal mantra. Whenever things are getting a little bit difficult for me or challenging, or if I can feel myself falling into desperation or just having a negative mindset, I use that, I pull myself out. So I think the saying means that when we finally got to a stage of rock bottom, that's a better word, we can't fall anymore. So for example, I don't wish this on you, maybe you lose your job, maybe you break up with your girlfriend, maybe your finances are completely down, maybe your relationships break apart, and you feel, fucking hell man, what else could go wrong? I've lost everything. That's the moment you're powerful, because that's when I find in myself, and I find that, I think for men, that's when we become strong, because I think we become more authentic because there's nothing to lose. And in one sense it goes from desperation till not giving a fuck. You don't care anymore, and then you're just acting purely on, I think that you're acting purely on just authenticity. And I think that is a very powerful mindset to have, and that is actually very attractive towards women. So can you see how you can take a negative concept or an idea, break it down or spin it round and make it become a strength? I'm not saying you can do that with everything, maybe you can, but I've definitely learned to do it. So example, I remember about 4 years ago when I first started to teach with Johnny Berba. Of course I wasn't branded then, I wasn't known, so I wasn't as established. So it was quite difficult finding work, getting clients. And I was in love, I was with my girlfriend, very much in love, but I didn't have my own place, I was staying at my parents. And I started to feel, I don't know, I guess I started to feel a little bit humiliated, because I felt very confident in myself, very attractive. I'd spent years working on myself, but I could actually afford to move out my parents, but I was just, my finances were just, on the limit. I thought if I move out, I'm not going to really be able to have this well, I felt at the time, luxury lifestyle, being able to go out, drink whenever I want, eat nice food, wear nice clothes, because it was cheaper staying at my parents. To charge me next to nothing. Obviously paid them something, but moving out would mean a lot more rent, it would mean being more responsible. So that sort of idea, it kind of bothered me. But then it got to a stage where, and I love my family, I started to feel I need my own space, because family, even though they don't mind, but I just feel like I'm a grown man and I've got a woman and she wants to live with me, she's in love with me, she wants to spend a lot of time with me, and I feel the same way. And it got to a stage where I thought, I need to make more money. And then I started to get stressed, and I started to panic. I was like, I don't want to feel stressed because I love my work, and I don't want my work to become just outcome focused on making money, because then I'll probably start resenting my work. I won't enjoy it. It'll become like a 9 to 5, and I thought, I don't ever want that to happen, because this is my passion. I love teaching men how to meet women, or at the time pick women up. I was immersed in that world, and I'm still very much immersed in it. But at the time, the message was sort of different then. So I had to make a decision. I had girlfriend pressuring me. I had my own inner monologue pressuring me, and come on, pull your finger out. And I just kind of got through a stage of fucking desperation. I thought, I have to do it. I've got to find a way. So I thought, it always happens to me. When I get really desperate and I start worrying, I'm like, it's always the same solution. I've got to face fear. I've got to go out and do bigger projects in my business to attract more work. I've got to put myself out more on the YouTube videos. At the time, it was when I was filming with Imran, and there were videos that were challenging for me to do. There was pressure. I had to go out and show success at the time. I felt I did, and when you feel you do something, you need to do that. So I had a lot of pressure going out, because I had to get the success on camera, and that wasn't easy at the time because I wasn't that experienced in front of a camera. So I had all this pressure, so I had to get the results on camera. Also, and rightly so, I had to pay Imran, because it's his time, and obviously it's his skill, rightly so. So I've got to pay him. I'm losing money there. I've got to make money for the rent. I've got to get the success on camera. So I'm in a state of desperation. But that's some of my best work came out of that. And then I found peace in the desperation, and eventually I got myself out of it. I made the money. I moved out. Moved into a very nice place in West Hampstead. In love with my girlfriend. Started to make more money. I felt more passionate. So the message of the video is, we do fall on hard times. I don't care how successful you are, I don't care how positive you are, it does happen. These are periodic moments in our life where we will fall out into desperation. And it can happen, of course, in a relationship. You can feel it's not working out, and then you break up, a woman leaves you, or you leave a woman, and then you feel desperate, you feel desperation, what are you gonna do? I'll give you another story, listen up. I remember, let me think, yes, I was 22. I met one of my first girlfriends from the street. I've written about her before. I won't get into much detail. She was an English woman. This was a time when I was very insecure. I wasn't developed as I am now. I didn't know who I was, but I was on the path. I was on the path to improving myself, and I'd got some good results, which was meeting her. She was beautiful, English. She was really middle class, and for me that was quite a shock at the time, because I didn't ever believe I could attract women like that, because I was from a working class background. So just a limiting belief at the time, which I'd obviously broken and dissolved. So she didn't want to be with me no more. She just said it wasn't working out, and it really fucking hit me hard. I couldn't believe it. I was surprised, because you know, I said I was a bit insecure at the time, but I started to develop a high opinion of myself. I couldn't understand why she didn't want to be with me, but as time went on, I realised she wasn't the right woman for me, and it wasn't the right time for me. She did me a favour. But anyway, after, I thought, well, like most men do, or women, when you feel heartbroken, you just feel like giving up. You feel like the whole world you feel like it's over. But two choices. I could stay in that place, which was desperation, neediness, fear of not finding someone else, or I could say, no, I'm not going to let this defeat me. I'm going to dig deep, like I did in previous example, and I'm going to improve myself, and I'm going to keep working and speaking to him, and I'm going to find another woman. That's simple. And I started to explore, like reading all the books going online. Then I did. And then it's not being arrogant, I got so good that I had choice every week. I had choice of 5 to 7 women. That's not an exaggeration, that's the absolute truth. I'm telling you now, this is to inspire you as well. So if I didn't fall into desperation, how the fuck would I have got to the stage I'm at now? So desperation is good, it's good for me. I can't speak for everyone. Maybe there's some people that don't work well under pressure, but I work well under pressure. I'm half Irish. So that hasn't got any relevance, I'm just having a bit of a joke. But my point is, it pushed me to work harder. And I see so many men in the dating world, pickup community, and I get a lot of comments in my video, and it's not criticism, I'm just pointing in the right direction, that are not desperate enough. They're complaining that they're not getting the right women. They're complaining that day game's too hard or they're not getting the results, but they're not digging deep enough. They're not digging deep. Then they're complaining that maybe they don't have enough finances to take a course, to get private coaching with myself, an expert, to take them to the next level. But they don't want to get a full-time job, or they don't want to find a way to make money, or they don't want to go to university and educate themselves. And I know it's not easy, but we have to, if we really want the things in life, we have to suffer to get them, to somehow. And then when you achieve them, you realise, you understand the lesson. The lesson, the best teacher is the lesson of life. It will present you certain situations where you're going to give up, you're going to sink, or you're going to swim. And I'm the kind of man And I know you guys are the same. I know I'm talking to real men here. I don't quit. I may cry about it. I may literally cry on my own. I may complain. I may feel sorry for myself, but I won't stay in that place for too long. I'll say, right, enough is enough. And if I don't do anything about it, it means that it didn't mean that much to me. There's times in my life where there's things I want to do and then I end up not doing them because I guess I don't really want to do them enough. So I always say to you, you're telling me you want attractive women. You're telling me that you want to achieve a level of inner calmness or confidence which I've got with women. How desperate are you to do it? How desperate are you on a scale of 1 to 10? If you're like, you're not going to do it. You can't be halfway in. You've got to be all in. And I'm going to explain and elaborate on this more, turning the negative into the positive, from desperation to whatever abundance. Women are very attracted to determined men. People are attracted to determined men. People are attracted to a determined woman. It's a very attractive quality. And of course, it's a quality that we all recognise that we have in one another. And I think that's why my videos on YouTube are very inspiring, because it comes from a place of pain, desperation, fear, insecurity, anxiety, and I'm able to transfer or translate or manifest the good work I do, the powerful work I do, the loving stuff, inspirational stuff from the place of desperation. Now, I don't always do work from desperation, but I think my best work is from desperation. I also do stuff from inspiration. Inspiration is just when you're in a positive place anyway, the place I'm at now. But sometimes I do almost fantasize on where can I find desperation in my life? Where can I find areas that frighten the shit out of me? I don't want to do it. I don't want to face it because it means coming out of my comfort zone. Because I always know that is the area that would give me the biggest amount of personal growth in all areas of life, in business, with helping people. And that's why I love the guys that I work with, because the guys that take the 6 weeks programs with me or the boot camp or just some Skype coaching or a single session in London, there's two places they're coming from, or the two are simultaneously attached to one another. It's desperation or inspiration. They're desperate to get their dating life handled. And I'm inspired, and I get a massive rush of inspiration when I meet these people, because I can feel their desperation. That is not to say that in some sort of arrogant way. That's inspiring, because they've had enough. They want to change it. You cannot stop a man on his path. You can't. You can't keep a good man down. So if you're at a stage now in your life where you are not getting laid in day game, or you're getting flaky numbers, or you're going on dates and you're not connecting with women, you're not desperate enough. And you've got to go to that place. You've got to visit that place. Now, don't want to stay there too long, because that isn't good. Want to go to that place, want to taste it, want to feel the pain, the emotional pain from it, want to draw the energy from it and pull yourself out. And as I said, it always usually entails facing fear, facing a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable, and then getting comfortable, and then getting the strength from it, and then moving forward. And then when you get into a situation in your life again, you're more prepared, because it's no longer the unknown. You know, better the devil you know, as they say. You face that situation. It may be an entirely different situation in your life. It's got nothing to do with what you did before, but it's the same feelings, it's the same principles. It's pulling yourself out of desperation. I'll give you another story before I end off. I remember I was going through unemployment. And it was, for me, going through unemployment was by far more worse than going through when, you know, can't get a date of women or struggling with women, because I hated that feeling of feeling small. I hated that feeling that I couldn't provide for myself. I hated that feeling of having no freedom. And I didn't necessarily want to make loads of money at the time. For me, even just to have 100 quid a week would have kept me, just so I can buy some food, I can just travel, and just to go, I don't know, just to go down to pub and have a beer. I needed that bit of freedom, because there was times when I was on the job seekers allowance, when they cut me off and I had nothing. And it was a difficult period. So, and I was going looking for jobs and nothing was coming back. And I hear a lot of people saying that. I'm putting CVs out. I've been there, done it, wore the t-shirt. I'm throwing CVs out. I'm asking friends, do you know anyone who can get me a job? Can your brother get me a job? Can your friend? I'll do this. I'll fucking work for next to nothing. I just need a salary and I'll work my ass off. And nothing was coming about. And I got to a stage where I was desperate, and it pushed me and forced me to go into areas in my own psyche, or my own body, and into the world where I was not comfortable. I felt embarrassed, I felt a little bit ashamed, I felt like my pride was dented, but that's how I got the job. I would go in, and I can't remember how I'd done it, but I'd always pull the fucking rabbit out of the bag, if that makes sense. I'd pull the magic out, I'd find a way, I'd find someone who knows someone. And I think that mentality, these qualities, these traits is what got me good with day game. It got me into the position I'm in now to be teaching this. And I'm not being arrogant when I say it, to be globally recognised as one of the best dating coaches in the world, bar none. That can't be even doubted because of visiting these places of desperation. And also, obviously, I'm sure you guys know, I do this video because I fucking love you guys and I want to help you. And I also do it for myself because there's still areas in me, in my life as well, where I'm limiting and trying to pretend that they're not there. And I do these videos as well on behalf of myself, because you can't tell people what to do without fucking hearing it yourself and thinking, yeah, I've got to do that myself. But this is what I've always done, guys, and I've got the proof in my life and I've achieved it, and it's always gave me great joy. It's gave me more joy, not just the fact of getting success and turning the negative to the positive, but the fact that I was able to look back and go, fucking hell, Johnny, you're a proper man. You was in a place of desperation, you was in a place of fear, you was in a place of complete self-doubt, you was in a place of insecurity, and you had the strength and the courage and the will to pull yourself out and pull yourself into a good place. Well done, my friend. And can you see the way I speak to myself? That's how I build the relationship with myself. I said to you guys before, the most important relationship is with yourself. Not even with money, not even with friends, not even with family. First the self, then everyone else. Then you connect everyone, you can give to everyone, love everyone. Must get the relationship with yourself right. And I don't want to go too much into another topic for another video. Desperation, my friend, is a good thing. I'll say the saying again. When I'm at my strongest, I'm at my weakest. When I'm at my weakest, I'm at my strongest. I think St. Paul said that. I might be wrong. I might have to check it. Or maybe St. Francis. Someone from the Bible, one of the saints said it. And I completely understand it on a very deep level, because I've been there. I've been there. The sleepless nights, the crying, the anger, the frustration, the self-doubt, the self-pity. And that's when I've always drawn myself up. And I'll just leave you with someone to check out. A man who's helped me many times in this situation, he's one of my teachers and mentors, was Les Brown. He was a massive inspiration for me because he said certain words that resonated with me. They were really good for me when I was in that place. And then when you pull yourself out, you might not be in that place of desperation for a long time. You're in a great place. And that's the journey and the battle of life, all right? So remember, when you're at your weakest, you're at your strongest, because that's when you'll draw the truth out. You'll fucking pull it out of your ass. You'll pull the honesty out, and you'll go and achieve it. You'll find a way, all right? Like and subscribe. Enjoy the process. And don't worry if you're in a place of desperation, but do worry if you're sort of in a place where you're in between and you're not getting things you want, but ask yourself, are you desperate enough to make the changes, all right? I'll see you in the next video. Bye.